살아왔었나이君は少女なの僕はやる人力は押すて What are you doing in my bloody toilet then? Let me just say, right off the bat, the fact I'm making this video is a mod to, because I never ever would have thought I'd be sitting in front of a camera, talking to you guys at home and answering your questions on YouTube ever. So this is pretty awesome, to be honest. With that being said, welcome guys to Action Adam's Q&A special. I mean, this was going to be initially for 1,000 subscribers, but I jumped from 1,000 to 4,000 in the space of like 5 days. I mean, I jumped from 400 to 4,000 in the space of a month, so I honestly, the maths there, I don't really understand it, but I'm not going to question it. As a homage to one of my favourite shows ever, Machinima Respawn Inbox, hosted by Sark and APL, I'm now going to do a quick fire round of all the sort of generic questions you guys have asked me. If you want to hear the questions about, you know, learning the piano and my experience with piano, teaching myself for the past 3 years, skip later on in the video. I'll probably put a timestamp. If I don't, good luck finding it yourself, and just watch the rest of the video. First off, where are you from? London, in the UK. Secondly, how old are you? Legal. The next question is, are you Egyptian? Can you speak Arabic? أنا مصري. أنا بتكلم عربي.
أنت مش بتتكلم عربي ولا عارف أي حاجة.
Mama,
يا
mama.
أنت مش عارف أي حاجة.
Mama. Following on from that question is, have you ever been to Europe? I have indeed, actually. I have been to Hungary. I went there for my lad's holiday with the boys, and actually whilst I was there, I met this former concert pianist, and I remember playing, I just learned La Campanella, like the last bit of La Campanella. That's on my channel. You can see the link here. I'll probably put a clip in maybe. I played it very poorly for him, and he gave me some advice, and he said, don't take piano too seriously, because obviously you won't be able to get to a point where you're performing live like I was, and so you might as well just do it for fun. So there's not really an issue with you learning La Campanella, for example, even though you were only a year and a half in. I was only a year and a half in at the time. And so yeah, I've kind of taken that on board and just kind of done what I want with piano. But if you're playing it like a hard piece and it hurts, stop immediately. I'm not encouraging you to do hard pieces that will, you know, result in injury. I'm simply saying what he said. I'm simply reciting what he said. Favorite anime opening? Sarah wasn't I? Give me a shot. No, it'd have to be Crossing Field, mate. That's my first anime. Sword Art Online was my first anime. Mate, those first 3 notes. As soon as I hear those, mate, oh, turns me on. What are your favourite animes? I'm just going to blitz through these. Sword Art Online, Attack on Titan, Fullmetal Alchemist, JOJO, Code Geass, Cowboy Bebop, Steins Gate, Parasite, Gurren Lagann, Toradora, ReZero, Oran Host, Promised Neverland, Dororo, Demon Slayer, Haikyuu. If I had to put it just one though, probably be Boku no Pico. Did you learn to twerk? Well, funny you should ask me that. It's something that's been passed through my family for generations, from father to son. It's something I learned and studied for years, and I've now become a professional in it. You can call me a master twerker. The next question is, where do you see your channel going from here? In the bin. Next question is, do you have a waifu? No, I do not. However, applications are open. The next question is, best tips to become a strong boy. And all I have to advise with that is to roll it.
Buy a Bible, lay in bed, start praying. You don't have a fucking
Alright, well, that's all the generic questions out of the way. Time to get onto the serious piano stuff. I won't be answering your questions directly. I'm just going to be sort of doing a big speech and covering all the questions you've asked. So I started learning the piano in December of 2017, about 3 years ago now. I started learning it to record a performance of Crossing Field from Sword Art Online for my friend, who at the time was ill and alone in hospital, and so it was kind of cheer him up. When I showed him my recorded performance, he was really happy, and I found that I really enjoyed learning the piano and, you know, playing it for other people. Eventually I came across this as Crossing Field, and I absolutely loved it. I didn't realise the anime piano community was a big thing already, and so I was delighted, and it deepened my interest in anime piano. I'd say it took like 2 weeks to learn my first piece on piano, something like that. I'd say to this day, the favourite song I've ever played, I guess, or my favourite performance would probably be my Sword Art Online medley. Not because it's technically, you know, impressive or like really well edited or anything like that. It's just the first time I think I'd ever made good music, so I was really proud of myself, and that was a really big milestone for me. My best advice for beginners would be to take it slow. It may seem off, you know, the bat to try and attempt Anna Menz's Unravel or a Campanella or bloody Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, but you'll only end in misery and failure. So just take it off slow, have realistic expectations, and try and make steady progress from there. So I initially started learning piano using Synthesia, which is where there are those falling notes down the screen, like on those YouTube videos. I think I learned crossing fill from online pianists. I would do that for the next few months until I came across my first piece of sheet music which I decided to learn, which was a Tender Feeling from Sword Art Online, and I learned that sheet music. Now I can use Synthesia and sheet music pretty much interchangeably at this point. I don't really care which one I use to learn a piece, but you know, that's what I recommend for you beginners. If you want to start using Synthesia, that's fine, just make sure you eventually switch over to sheet music because it does have a lot of benefits which you'll later find out about. If you want to start from sheet music, you know, that's perfect. But obviously a lot of people are interested in music and more rather piano because they see the falling notes and like, oh, I want to mimic that. There are three major aspects to improving as a self-taught musician. The first is to pick a piece that is harder than the one you just had before. I'm not saying you shouldn't learn easy pieces, you just need to make sure when you're improving yourself that you pick a piece that was consistently more challenging than the one before. Obviously that's still within the realms of practicality, don't go playing Anna Menz's Unravel on me. The second is to keep at it on a regular basis. A lot of people will play for a few months and they'll give up because they don't see much progress or not seeing any progress at all. If you can only play piano for like half an hour a day, that's fine, just make sure you keep at it and you'll surely see growth as a result of this. The third and final aspect is to have friends around you who will be honest about your work and tell you when it's not up to scratch. This is a key secret to my growth on the piano and can be applied to life as well, I guess. So I'd go to my friends on Discord and I'd show them my best performance at the time, expecting a positive response, but every time I'd be met with a negative one. And that would be because of, you know, unsteady tempo, incorrect notes, improper dynamics. And sure, at the time it really did suck and it felt like I wanted to give up because my best was never enough. However, if you're able to have the willpower and the strength to push past these, you'll become stronger and harder and more skilled. It's in the same way diamonds are made. Obviously they start off dirty and worthless. However, with enough pressure and time, they become shiny and special. If you can apply more pressure over a short amount of time and not break, you will see exponential growth in your ability to play the piano. However, I don't recommend it for everyone because you can break. The piano I use is the Yamaha P45, the digital audio workstation I use is Studio One 4, and the VST I use is Nord. To record MIDI data, connect your piano to your laptop using a USB to host connection and go on your digital audio workstation and just record MIDI there. Do you practice scales and arpeggios regularly? No, I do not. I should, and I recommend you all to, but I am just lazy. In terms of how to arrange an improv, it's quite a broad question. I don't know, how do you arrange an improv? Basically what I used to do for the first like 2 years playing the piano, I'd figure out the melody on the right hand and the chord progression on the left hand, and I literally just do whatever I wanted with those two in mind. So that's why my left hand patterns in my older arrangements literally have no, like, there is no accuracy in them. They have no similarity to the original song that I'd arranged it from. I started thinking about the notes I wanted to play for the first time in my Sword Art Online medley, and I've been trying to work on that ever since, you know, with each arrangement, and sometimes it works, and sometimes I fail. So I've been brainstorming like a checklist for what makes a good arrangement past the basics of, you know, correct music theory, steady tempo, correct notes, blah 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 blah. And let's hope I can fit it in there. Hopefully, maybe I'm going to put it here. I don't know what the parameters are, I'll just do that. You can pause that and, you know, analyse it if you want, but the key message is that you want to have enough arranging techniques so that you can accurately arrange on the piano how you connect with the song. Now that may sound confusing at first, so I'll give you an example so you can understand. In Anna Menz's Owari no Sekai Kara arrangement, in that final minute when the octaves are going crazy on the left hand, he's not doing that because, you know, it increases the difficulty and it sounds cool and epic. It's because that's how he connects with the song and how he wants to reflect it on the piano and with his arrangement. Those octaves on the left hand are the best arranging technique you think of to show you guys the amount of impact it had on his soul. And that is the key to making a good arrangement. It's not about how many arpeggios you can have. It's not about the tempo, the technical difficulty. It's not even about the accuracy that you arrange the song on the piano with. It's about your pianism and how you connect with that song and how you want to reflect it in your arrangement. As for why I continue to play piano, which is what someone asked, I won't lie, one of the biggest drivers for me back in the day was, you know, when you'd listen to like the Campanella or Moonlight Sonata and you'd be like, and then at the end of it you'd like bow to an invisible audience that's in your head. That was one of the drivers to get that good at piano, I'm not gonna lie. As for why I still play the piano, I just love the piano, bro. That's all I can tell you. I haven't touched it in a week and a half, if that makes you feel any better. Because whenever I sit down to play piano, I don't want to sit down because, you know, I feel like I have to honour the progress I've made so far, but I sit down at the piano to play it just because I love becoming one with the music. In the moment that you're playing, nothing else matters except the music you make and you. Like, those are the only two things that exist in the world at the time, right? And it's that state of being which is so precious and what I enjoy so much, because I can escape from this world and literally become one with what I play. And I think that's beautiful. It's okay to take breaks. Don't force yourself to do something just because. You should want to do it, and if you don't want to, just give it some time. Don't worry, you'll come around. If it's meant to be, you will come around. Alright, well, bloody hell, I got a lot deeper than I expected to. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Now, actually, we do have one more question, and it's from Philippus Waglolly. Fantastic name, I know, right? So it's... bloody hell. How I teach myself why piano I play with no piano, and how start piano for me only with no play. Play, please. I need help. Philippus Waglolly, you do need help. Okay, so what I'm going to do, instead of answering that final question, is I'm going to get this glass and put it here in front of me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this bottle of bleach. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the stein glass up with said bleach, because I do not get paid enough to answer this shit. Cheers, and thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you want something like this again in the future. Bye bye.